I hope this video helps. Please check out the playlist, Evidence for Christianity, Evidence for the Bible, End Times, and the Book of Revelation. Leave links in the description for all four. Enjoy. I'm going to do the driver's side front brake pads now. The driver's side is the only one that has a sensor that tells you how much life is left in your brake pads. So you can sort of see that it's a 4-piston caliper. Basically, there's 2 pistons right there that also press against the brake pads, and then there's 2 pistons on the other side. And you can see the bracket and how it looks from the outside. And right there is the rear one, and you can see there's no caliper pistons on this side. You can just see the back of the brake pad there. So now you know what a 4-piston caliper looks like on this vehicle, because you're going to probably need to know that when picking out your brake pads. These are the Duralast brake pads that I'm putting in it. I got these from AutoZone. I'll leave an Amazon list link in the description for this or any tools that I use or the equivalent. I am an Amazon associate, so I do earn from any qualifying purchases when using my link. And here it comes with the hardware, brake pads. You can get some brake pad grease for the stuff that slides around. This kit also comes with the sensor. And here's my brake pad grease from when I did the rear brakes. Got a brake pad spreader there to compress the cylinders if needed. I might be able to do it by hand without using this. So these are the front brake pads that I'm installing, and you can see there the application part says 4-piston caliper. Since I'm doing the front driver's side, I'm putting the wheel chocks behind and in front of the wheel for the passenger rear tire. So right there, that is on the front side of it, and then I got that one on the back. You do not need to put it into brake service mode for the front, but you do need to put your parking brake on, emergency brake, whatever you want to call it. Oh. Alright, it's set. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and remove the cap to the brake fluid. Go ahead and pop your hood. It's a good practice to keep the hood open when you're working on your vehicle, because it will keep it from going into remote start if somebody accidentally pushes a button on the remote to start it. So here's the cap for the brake fluid. Go ahead and take that off and leave it off while we're servicing the brake pads. I'm going to go ahead and use the screw jack to jack it up on the front here. There's a nice little circled out spot there for the jack to go up on when you're jacking up the front end. And then I'm going to put some jack stands along the frame here in case something happens unexpectedly. So before I go jacking it off the ground, I want to break loose the lug nuts so that they will come off easy once it's lifted up and not just spin the tire. Screwed it up there by hand, and now it's time to jack it up. So now at this point, you can also slide your tire underneath the car just to make sure that if there is any incident, it'll be another layer of protection in case a vehicle falls down. So right there's the sensor, and that's where it connects. We gotta get this pulled up to unlock it. And I don't know why, but this thing is just a major pain in the butt. The rear one is even worse to get to. This one's pretty easy to get to, so I just need to get some force behind it here. Try not to hurt yourself doing this. It's a really bad. There, I got it popped up. Get this small slide screwdriver up here to unlatch it. Man, then just unlatch from that. Gosh dang it. Twist it a little bit to unlatch it, and then there we go, it just pulls out. So I just slid my screwdriver up this part and then twisted it to get this latch to go up. So the sensor I couldn't just pull off easy, but it should come either with the brake pad or come off when I pull the brake pad out. So let's get these little key locks here, these cotter keys, pull them out of these pins. This pin I need to turn a little bit to get it out. Alright, those little pins just hold these, those little keys just hold these pins in. And then we can pull these out. Now we can kind of squeeze these tabs together in order to unlatch this. It's not even latched in there like tight or anything, but there we go. And now you can pull your brake pads out. Now while they're in here, we can go ahead and compress the calipers there as much as we can by hand. Not much. And then pull them out. There we go. It's easier when you get on the top and bottom when you pull. Let's see if we can compress those in any. So I can hear it hitting that sensor. Can't get that stupid sensor off. I'm gonna reach back here again, see if I can pull it off that. Maybe a screwdriver. Let's try screwdriver now. Something a little more forceful. There we go. Well, it came loose, but it pulled the brake pad with it, so there we go. Now it feels like it's loose from the brake pad. Yep, there it fell out. Alright, now we're good. I don't know what's hanging it up. Oh, there we go. It just, a little bit of sticky stuff from the back was still hanging it up on the caliper there. Alright, so our brake pads are out. And let's go ahead and clean the surfaces off that are going to be, that's going to have the brake pads rubbing on it. So go ahead and clean off the brake pad surface, rubbing surface here with a rag. And then, or you can use a wire brush to clean it off. But that's where it needs to be able to slide back and forth in this housing. There we go, that looks good. If you want to support my channel, leave a super thanks below, or you can join Robinhood through a link that I'll leave in the description. We'll both get a free stock. Or you can purchase this product through a link in the description. I'll get a little commission. Continue watching. Alright, there's my brake pad grease. Just try not to get it on the drum, but there we go. Now I'm going to see if I can compress these calipers by hand enough to, oh yeah. So when I pushed it in, it made the others go out. So it's like you gotta hold them all on the side that you want. You gotta hold it. You gotta squeeze them both. All right, those are in all the way. So when I pushed those in, it made the back ones come out. So let's go ahead and get that brake pad in there. I'm not sure if it matters which pad goes where, but I got it. The ones that came out had the squealer tab, this metal tab on the bottom. That squealer tab is so that when your brake pads get so short, they need to be replaced. It'll start squealing. Anyway, these squealer pads are on the bottom, so we'll go in like this. Squealer tab. Oh, and then you need to peel this stuff off because this just helps it adhere to the piston caliper, and then that went in there pretty easy, really easy. All right, well that's good. And then we'll just squeeze the other side there. Okay, well I didn't really get a whole lot of compression out of it, but So I'm no professional, and I want to get these calipers compressed without using the caliper compression tool, so I'd have to take this whole housing off in order to do it. So what I'm going to do is just stick on the old brake pads in, and this side is going to be harder to do because you already compressed these, so there's more pressure in the system, probably, I'm guessing. That's because these are pressed in already, because you did those already. So now we need to get these compressed, so they're going to be a little harder. So try to get them pushed out as much as you can with your hand, and then stick one of your brake pads in between whichever one you can get. Once you get them started as far as compressing, it gets easier. So basically you get one of your brake pads to start to go in there, and then you can kind of use it to compress the piston in. And then once you get one, you gotta get the other one now, because it's gonna push it out. So now I can use it to sort of push the other cylinder in. So now I got it between both pistons. Now I can pry both of them in at the same time. This is not the proper way to do it with the piston. It's not the proper way to do it, but it gets the job done. Get them compressed. You gotta be careful not to damage the seal for the caliper either. So that's another risk you take, not doing it the proper way. But yeah, once you can get the old one in, then you can just pry between the two of them, kind of get this edge into the middle of the caliper, and then you can pry it back. So not the proper way, but that's how I'm doing it. All right, peeling off this sticky cover. Got the squealer tab for the bottom. I got my fingers in the sticky by accident. That's fine. All right, slides in there, and then it feels like the sticky stuff is hanging me up on the caliper. Why is it hanging me up? There we go. I don't know what was hanging me up there, but it's not anymore. Now let's get the pins in. Your pins line up with holes on the pads. Yeah, you might need to slide the pad up or down or in or out just to get it to line up with that hole. All right, come on, line up. There we go. Now it's all lined up, and then you need to put a pin in the back of it. Not this cotter key pin, and you just want to put this straight edged piece into the hole, and then the other part latches around the pin. So when you do it, you just do it like this here, and then it latches around that first part of the key onto the pin. All right, that's perfect. Now we gotta put that center on. So you can see right here, just latches in on here into that like this. And then I don't want to latch it in there right now because I don't want to have to pull it out. All right, there's no good angle to shoot this from, but you remember me showing you this, and I can see it. I don't know if you can, but I can see a notched out part in the brake pad, and then the sensor where it latches in, and then yep, it's latched in there now. Then we just got to put it back on the plug here. Put it back on the plug here. And you want this little locking tab to be facing out this way. There we go, it latched. So now push down on this to get it to lock. Whoops. My goodness, that should be easier than what it is. I did eventually break the head off. That was not intentional, but whatever, it's not a big deal. Anyway, yeah. I almost forgot to put this part on. So this basically just helps to spread the brake pads apart and get it off the rotor. This part, hooks around the pin. So just get it there, get this hook part up around the pin, and the bottom part, get those in, and then just kind of pull down to get it hooked around that pin as well, and that holds it all in place. Looks good. Now this part has this lip that kind of curves out. I don't think that's of any importance as far as whether or not you get it upside down. I think it can go either way. I could be wrong. You can tell me if you're a super mechanic in the comments whether or not it matters, but it seems more like it's something to help you, grab onto and get the thing in or out. So now I'm going to go do the other side, and it's all the same, but there is no sensor. That's the only difference. So I'm not going to show you how to do that. Now when putting your tire back on, there is a pinch point here you need to be aware of. If you got your fingers in here and you're sliding it on, you could end up smashing your fingers between the caliper and the rim. So when you're putting the tire back on, I recommend tightening up the bolts as much as you can before lowering the tire to the ground. Then lower the tire to the ground and tighten them up all the way so that the tire doesn't spin on you. Don't forget to remove your wheel chocks. Don't forget to put your brake fluid cap back on. Make sure you didn't leave anything under the car. When you're in the information tab for the vehicle here, you can scroll down until it gets to the brake pad life. And there, I replaced the rear and front. The rear stayed at 65% and the front went blank. So that's a little odd. I don't know why I did that, but when you click on the brake pad life here, you can click on when it's installed, but it's disabled. It doesn't let you do it because yeah, I guess they want you to be able to do that with a scanner tool. Anyway, if you don't have a scanner tool that does it, you can go to disable and they'll just disable it monitoring the brake pad life. So let's see what happens when we go to disable. Disabled. Okay. So now when you go down to it, it just shows disabled. It would be nice if they let you reset it yourself, but for some stupid reason the engineers decided they wanted to hold on to that power. Or you can take it somewhere to have them reset the brake pad life. Alright, now go ahead and start it up. Push on the brake and release your parking brake. Parking brake release, and now take yourself to the beach because you've earned it. And on the way there, go ahead and listen for any squeaking. Make sure that your brakes actually stop the car, and feel for any pulling one way or the other, and that will let you know whether or not you did a good job. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and if you want to connect with me, I have a public group on MeWe called Share Your Trade and an Instagram. I'll leave links in the description for both of those. Thanks for watching.